This is the Wasimon farm. I was born here 35 years ago. My childhood was very, very happy because I was playing with animals all the time. We didn't have toys, but our toys were small animals, so we were very happy fishing and also running everywhere and riding horses.
Mario's farm is situated in Nueva Segovia, a wonderful region in Nicaragua. The largest country in Central America, Nicaragua was first settled by the Spanish in 1522. The country won independence in 1838. The 20th century was the time of the dictatorship of the Somoza family and the guerrilla war led by the national hero General Cesar Sandino against American Marines in the 20s and 30s. From 1979 to 1990, there was a civil war between the left-wing Sandinistas, who took their name from Sandino and were in power at the time, and the Contras, guerrillas sponsored by the American government.
Late in the 80s, the Civil War was very, very rude here in Nicaragua and mainly in rural areas. And this was a very special place because a lot of army groups were moving around. And suddenly they came between 5:30 to 6 in the morning. And they asked me to come with them to help, to support them, to carry out one man who was shooting his knee. So I was helping them almost half a day. It was very common. A lot of fighting between one group and another around here. And they came very often to eat here, to drink, and also to keep our horses and our cows.
Years later, Mario went to study at the National Autonomous University of Nicaragua, and just before he graduated, his father and brother Jose decided that Mario should continue his education. This meant that his brother should stay at home and run the farm. Soon afterwards, Mario's father died. Mario then went to London to learn English, and when he came back, he started to work for rural development agencies. Soon afterwards, he applied for Erasmus Mundus studies in Europe.
It was a wonderful experience for me. I never lived something like that, and I never thought, that one guy grew up here, born here in this place, in this farm, would have that chance to study in Europe almost 3 years. And it was wonderful, and I'm very proud to be a farmer, but graduated in economic policy, in agricultural economics, and now in rural development, because I would like to show people who are still living here that if I could do it, they also can do whatever they want.
Nicaragua is primarily an agricultural country. Agriculture accounts for 60% of its total exports. It's the poorest country in Central America, with a 40% illiteracy rate. Mario's farm lies in the region which is famous for its coffee, which is some of the best in the world. Hundreds of small producers, which are mainly family businesses, join cooperatives there. A cooperativa is a group of people that come together with some specific objectives in order to solve their problems, the problems of the family. Here in Nicaragua, there are many cooperatives. We constitute a cooperative of organic coffee producers, and we have more than 600 members, and we act in 4 municipalities of Nueva Segovia. The aim of the cooperative is to improve the standard of living of the families. We gather to solve the problems of the families, so that the children of the producers can study and have food and go to school every day. Children help their parents at work after school, learning about agriculture, working the land, and how to improve the quality of the coffee. Despite the excellence of the quality of the coffee, it is only sold as a half product. The roasting facilities are located abroad. Here, it is roasted only for local needs. As everybody knows, coffee is the Nicaraguan national drink. To prepare coffee, you have to put a container filled with water on a fire for about 15 to 20 minutes until it boils. Then we brew the coffee using another container with a strainer filled with coffee. We pour the boiling water into it with a cup. We call this straining the coffee. Then we sweeten the coffee according to our personal taste. Cooperatives are helpful in solving problems in other kinds of rural activity in Nueva Segovia. The region is famous not only for producing crops and beef, but also cigars. The excellent quality of the tobacco plus the producers, which maintain traditional ties with their Cuban counterparts, gives the region's cigars a legendary taste. They are exported to the whole world, giving income and work to thousands of people in Nueva Segovia and its capital, Esteli, where Mario currently lives.
The
city of Esteli has a population of about 140,000 people, of which about 27% is a rural population and 73% an urban population. It is a city that in recent years has developed in the area of services, trade, tourism, and small and medium industry. The main activity of this municipality is agriculture. Although in the city of Esteli, people's efforts have led to visible progress, Nicaragua as a whole is developing very slowly. Foreign companies don't invest here as the political situation is not stable and there seems to be little possibility of improvement. There is deepening poverty and peak. All this has caused the phenomenon that a lot of good professionals who were the best at secondary school or higher education went abroad. Local institutions see themselves as unable to offer them the decent salary that they deserve. They also consider it impossible to improve their academic skills in their country, so they decide to continue their studies abroad, and they don't return. This is a natural result of our underdevelopment and the fact that we have no capacity to absorb these people for economic reasons. So this person sees the local conditions as limited and decides to improve his standard of living and educational level abroad to progress. Before Mario left for Europe, he was employed as an economic development consultant in the Dutch Service for Development, an organization which operates in 5 Central and South American countries in the agricultural sector. Juan Francisco Martinez worked with Mario at the time, and now they are close friends. He understands Mario's reasons for going to Europe. Everything depends on our personal aims. I think that if Mario has knowledge and he wants to use it to do what he really wants, he may bring this knowledge to the national context, especially to our developing country, a kind of country that needs most of this knowledge. But very often we have different opportunities in our lives, which are also valuable, and everything depends on them. When Mario came back from his Erasmus Mundus studies, he couldn't find a job for 6 long months. He went back to the farm, helping his brother and mother, like in his childhood.
It was crazy to think for me that I'm very sad. And why me? I asked me by that time. A well-educated guy like me, I mean, milking cows here, and helping my brother to do that, which is nice for me, but I think I can do something different, in order to help my country.
Mario had worked for FUNICA, an institution that promotes the idea of an associative society. And among the different associations, as with the cooperatives here, there are networks. Mario was hired for 3 months, working on a strategic plan which constitutes the goal of the network, the idea of what should become of it in the next 5 years. To draw up the strategic plan, Mario had to meet the producers' organizations, listen to them, manage the process of their participation, and gather their ideas and put them into a single document. So he had to coordinate its production. The presentation of the document was made on the final day of his employment. Despite his strong will to stay in his beautiful country, Mario has life decisions of his own to make. He wants to go to Humboldt University in Germany to do a PhD. At the same time, he wants to maintain contact with the National Autonomous University of Nicaragua. And then, who knows?
I already know that the key of development of this country and somewhere else is education. So that's why I decided to go back to Europe in order to get my PhD degree. Because if I do that, I will get a research and teaching position at the National University of Nicaragua. So I can do a very nice job, I think, helping, teaching, sharing my knowledge and experience in teaching and research with young scientists from this country. And maybe together, a new generation of research and thinkers can change things and can change the ideas which political have been development here, which are not so wise in my opinion.